Welcome back to Railbound. I'm dear darling, and enjoy the ride as we make connections and travel the world together. Where last time, to be honest, we have solved quite a substantial number of these levels through like pure guesswork, which I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm worried about it necessarily, because I don't know, the most generous reading of that is that my intuition is so good that I'm sort of like subconsciously solving these levels. But it is getting to the stage where I'm just like, I'm not sure if I should be solving these levels like subconsciously per se. Hold on, number 2, you stop for a second. So that opens it up. So then number 3. Actually, wait, how does this... So number 2 can actually just go directly across like this, but I think it will crash into number 1. And number 3, actually, for that matter. So I wonder if maybe... No, number 3 has to go this way. So probably something like this. So this implies that number 2 will hit that yellow lever. There we go. But again, this is a sort of trial and improvement sort of thing, where I saw the end position of like how the levers are, and I've been like, I don't have enough tracks to do anything else. So obviously number 2 has to hit that yellow lever a second time, and then it just immediately told me what track it needs to take. This looks complicated. So the general idea is we want you to go straight across like that. You cannot go into there without hitting purple once, or I suppose you could join up here, but then you need to hit yellow. Oh god, like what even? Probably something like this. Something smells to me that we want to get you trapped in here. What's this gonna do? I feel like we want you to be trapped in here until we can figure out how things should go. Thing is, when this happens, you don't get untrapped, which is not good. So unless we do something like this... No, I just collides them. I don't know why I'm doing this again. That also cannot be the solution because we have far too many things. Interesting. That almost works. We need yellow to be in this position. So it does scream to me that we'll be doing something like this. So we need yellow to be in that position. So yellow needs to be hit once, purple needs to be hit... Don't know if it necessarily needs to even be hit once. I mean, this seems pretty reasonable. Get hit once, hit like that. And then maybe through here, we have you follow on from number 1's track. Does this even make sense? No, you're stuck like that. Hold on, it was meant to be like this, wasn't it? Now we just need number 2 to get to the end. Again, that felt like trial and error. It didn't really feel like I solved it. But it does look like I had redundant pieces in there. So what's redundant in this? Actually, I don't think any of this is redundant. That's weird. So what is the general concept behind this one? I don't even know. I mean, it's very much like putting number 1 away. It's putting train 1 away so train 2 can hit the buttons, allowing train 1 to go, and then somehow miraculously... No, we send train 2 to go where train 1 went, and it sorts itself out somehow. So we need purple to be hit twice? Yeah, okay, so from this position, we need yellow to be hit once, purple to be hit twice. So this is what this initial thing does, is number 1 doesn't go... Number 1 only hits a purple button once, while number 2 hits both of them. And then because when both of these are hit, the direction that number 2 comes through in sends it off track, which we use to loop back into where number 1 went. The yellow one has still been hit once, but by reconvening onto a number 2 track, we can hit the purple button twice, I suppose. Thus, train 2 can follow train 1's track, and keep the switches in the position they want. Okay, so I understand how this works now. I don't know how you're meant to come up with this. And I find it ironic, seeing as I came up with this. But it's not like I really came up with this. It's more like I iterated and found it sort of eventually. Like, conceiving of that as a solution is pretty insane, I think. Oh, God. Okay, so we need to hit yellow once. It's not... And purple needs to be hit an even number of times, okay. Well, I think the easiest thing we can do is just send 1 to the end. I don't know if number 2 can get out of the way in time. It can't. I would really like number 2 to get out of the way in time, but alas. I guess we could do this to delay time. Oh, hold on. We can't do this because we need number 1 to hit the thing again. So if they both follow the same track, number 1 should be sent to the end. Oh, they're both sent to the end. Oh, weird. So I guess the difficulty is how do we hit yellow once? Well, we can do this, certainly. But how do we get number 1 out from this? Good question. Maybe it's the wrong way to think about it. So this would make number 1 hit it and then come out. So this gets number 1 to the end. Now we need to get number 2. Right, now we need to get number 2 to delay time using only 5 tracks. Oh, we can't do that, can we? It feels like... Well, you can't follow. Because then you hit the thing twice. But the only switching track is this track. So we have to use that switching track somehow. Probably. That seems pretty difficult. That seems incredibly difficult. How do we do that? Maybe we do this, and then number 2 gets sent. Oh God, what even is happening? No, we're not far away enough from each other, I think. What am I doing? I don't even know how to get started. It does feel like it doesn't want me to have number 1 hit these buttons, which is exactly why I feel like I should have number 1 hit these buttons. Oh God, what do I even do? Now if only we can switch our roles. And then have number 2 go back here or something. The thing is, hitting this yellow one twice is not what I want. But this doesn't actually separate them enough. I genuinely don't want... No, I don't even know how to tackle this. I'm just sort of randomly doing things right now, which is fine. It's just, it's not very helpful. Is it fine to hit purple this early? It'd be nice if we could... Okay, if we hit purple really quickly, we can get number 2 to go on a different path. Like this, right? No, because number 2 can't get out of the way. Maybe we hit this purple one really early? No, it's not fast enough, so number 2 would have to delay even more time. Which is possible. Like, and then if number 2 got out of the way or something, but... We still need to hit a yellow one. That's not enough tracks, right? That cannot be the solution. That cannot even be the form of a solution, because that will use up, even conceptually, so many tracks. God, I don't even know what to do. Let's look at level 4-9. Let's see what the concept was behind 4-9, because sometimes the concept carries across. Right, I don't even know what I did with this one. I just... Okay. It was very unhelpful. It just sort of happened. Right. I mean, the problem with 4-9 is 4-9 is so, like, clear what you need to do, because you have, like, no tracks, and everything is so set up. So, I mean... In an ideal world, what I would like to send 1 through to the end to wait here, while number 2 hits this button and then sorts itself out. How can I do that? Well, maybe they have to both go along the same track, but since they're equidistant from each other, that seems unlikely. So they need to go onto the same track and then separate, but then the only way we can separate them is using this switch, but this is so near the end. And requires them to be at least like 4 distance away from each other, which makes me think that's not the case. So how else can I separate them? It's a tough question to answer. What if number 1 needs to get out of the way? Number 2 can't get out of the way fast enough, but number 1 can. Is there something to this? No, because there's no way that can hit the button in time. But what if number 1 hit the button again? Keeping you trapped here, and then number 1 came back. No, wait, you need to go that way. So number 2 is trapped. There feels like there's something here. It's just unfortunately the track arrangement doesn't work how I'd like it to. It doesn't get there fast enough to hit this button, annoyingly. But if number 1 could rejoin the track at this point, like if we had 1 more track to like send it over here, I think that would be the solution, wouldn't it? So maybe this is the concept. Number 1 needs to get out of the way, but now we need to save another track. Because ideally we'd want number 1 to get out of here as well. I don't know where we can save a track. At least with this solution. What if we didn't have number 1 hit the button? Then number 2 just goes to the end. So we need number 1 to hit the button. We need number 1 to get out of the way. But then we need number 1 to hit the purple button again. Oh, this is so tough. So what if we do this? We just need a way to separate them. If only we were a tiny bit more separated. Oh my god, I can't even right now. This feels like such a cool concept, but it just doesn't work. It's like one track too slow. If number 1 got there 1 track earlier, or number 2 got there 1 track later, oh maybe what if we send number 2 this way? How does this solve anything? This doesn't solve anything. This doesn't separate them, which is the whole point of what I wanted to do. Because otherwise number 1 and number 2 just hits it twice, which we don't want. Maybe they both do need to be sent on the same track through the tunnel. We just need number 1 and number 2 to somehow reconvene in different ways, such that number 1 hits it once, but number 2 hits it 0 times on the first way round. Does that make sense? It's so sad this doesn't work. What if... It's just such a cool concept, and maybe we don't need a loop around then. Is that how I get back a track? I just need one more track, I think. Because then number 1 will go here, it would go around this way, it would hit the button, 2 would hit the button again, and it would work, I think. But I need one more track, or I need the bend to be somewhere different. Because this doesn't allow you to get back on the track, but this doesn't allow number 1 to hit the purple button. Wow, this one is like crazy hard. If we did it this way around. Not helpful. I don't have an idea. I'm starting to think that this is not the right solution, because it does not seem conceivable I can get another track out of that solution. Like another spare track. We have 15 tracks to work with. I cannot believe it. But it is clear to me that probably the intended solution will have to feature this switch somehow. Otherwise, what's the point of putting it down? You might as well not have it, right? So this must be the way we separate the 2 train carriages, but it's not clear to me how that works. I like what we had before, but I can't make that work. Or at least I can't think of a way to make that work. It probably does work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is too slow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless we do something like this. Now that's an intriguing thought. What am I even doing? Well, that gets 1 to the end. But now we need... Wait, what? No, hold on. We need 1 to hit the button. Hits a button. Goes through. But neither of them get out. It's so annoying the switch is not where I want it to be. We need someone to hit the button then, this way. What if you're the one to hit the button? Like that. And number 1, you just do your thing. If you hit the button like this. And then if you maybe like joined onto what number 1 was doing. What if you hit the button like this? Well, obviously it does not hit the button, so maybe not quite like that, but no, we just follow exactly the same path. It's got to be something like this. I say it's got to be, it doesn't have to be in the slightest, but it feels like it should be. But then you go here, one goes across and the other goes down and then goes like backwards through its thing, but it can't be backwards through its thing. Maybe it's like this? But they're not far enough away from each other like this. They don't delay enough time. So ultimately kind of like nothing happens. That's just a loop. They need to be separated by one more step. Because then if it was separated by one more step, the number 1 would go through again. Maybe this is the right sort of concept, but not quite this execution. We cannot send you to the end. Is it even possible for us to delay you by one more step? Jesus. It's not easy to see a solution. None of this matters with timing, so it's like we'd have to put an extra step in here for number 2 for it to make any sense. No, I think we're gonna have to leave this, and I don't think I can come up with a solution for that one. That one's hard. That one's genuinely quite hard. But for now, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Railbound. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.